Welcome back. As we mentioned earlier on, the ANC Youth League is holding its 26th National Congress after 8 years without any legitimate leadership. Nominations are underway, we believe, at the conference. As we're joined now by ANC Youth League spokesperson Sizophila Mkhize. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. Perhaps let's just first start with the events underway at the moment, what is happening, and we'll just then look back at what came out earlier on.
Well, what is happening now is that the Congress has just dealt with the issue of nominations of the top 6, because the ANC Youth League had a top 5, and now it has agreed to amend its constitution and has a second DSG. So what is happening now is that they are dealing with the position of the second DSG now, nominations, and well, by the look of things, there is leadership of the ANC Youth League now.
Sorry, I missed that last part. You say by the looks of things?
Yeah, I'm saying by the looks of things, there is leadership of the ANC Youth League right now. It's just that it's not complete because they are now dealing with the position of the second DSG, which is the only remaining position.
Okay, so let's just look at events that disrupted the conference, in fact, prevented it from going ahead as planned. There were disputes over an audit report. Has that issue been resolved satisfactorily, given the fact that...
Issues were not resolved. Comrades rushed all processes and they did not follow them properly. But we're here now. Comrades wanted to get to this point. They did not really follow procedures and protocols of the organization. But we're here now, and they've been elected, which is what they wanted by hook or crook. So it has happened.
I hear what you're saying. If you'll allow me to finish asking the question, because I was saying that there were some members of the national task team who had insisted that they want a proper outcome of that audit report before the conference kicks off. And we know the conference has started officially.
Yes, there are members of the NYTT that wanted the audit report. Members of the NYTT wanted the audit report before the conference starts because it was a resolution of the meeting of the NYTT that audit report is going to come to the NYTT for perusal and adoption, but that meeting did not take place.
So, as you say, there is a leadership in place now, bar 1 or 2 positions, but we've seen provinces raise issues over the number of delegates accounted for, even regions such as Vembe, Tshwane and Khwezani complaining about representation there. Will the ANC Youth League feel that the leadership that will ultimately be chosen is legitimate and endorsed by all members there?
Comrades were closed out of participating in the Congress. Comrades that were legitimate delegates. Regions were cut, delegates were cut from sub-regions, from zones and everything. So I do not think where I'm standing, I do not know, I can't speak for them because I participated, I was part of the Congress. But comrades were outside. I do not think where they are going to feel that this is the leadership of them, that is of theirs. This is the leadership of the ANC Youth League, because they felt that the processes were not fair.
And we believe that disciplinary action awaits those Youth League delegates who disrupted registration. Any further information on that?
We do not know that, from where I stand, I do not know that there was a disruption of the registration. What I know is that the registration was temporarily closed, and then it was reopened again. We do not know of any disciplinary measures that are taken against any member or delegate of the Congress.
Okay, so as you say, it's a matter of perception. It's been reported that there were disruptions. You say, as far as you're concerned, it wasn't that. But let's talk about the issue of Fasia Hassan. She stepped in to replace Xolangxola as convener after he was removed by the Secretary General Fikile Mbalula. This has led to some claims that Mbalula meddled in ANC Youth League affairs. Is there general consensus on this matter and the perspective through which it should be seen?
There are serious concerns about how the decision was taken, and the explanation that we're getting is that, well, it's the NYTP of the ANC, so the ANC can just decide what it does with the NYTP. If they want to remove, they'll remove. If they want to replace, they'll replace. So there's generally that feeling that it was also the timing, the removal of the convener when we were closer to Congress, when we were just a few hours to starting a Congress. It's quite questionable, but we've taken the explanation that was getting that in any case we are appointed by the ANC. So the ANC decides what happens. So I do not know really where I'm standing, whether the ANC's youth league is going to be unchained from the control of the ANC.
So it's interesting also to hear you put it like that. Figure and Balula earlier on, while he was speaking about the relationship between the ANC Youth League and the ANC, the historical relationship. Fasia Hassan spoke about the issue of autonomy earlier on. So how do you then both move on as the mother body and the league while there are these misunderstandings?
Well, misunderstandings will have to be, of course, addressed, but I can tell you that comrades that were uncomfortable with the processes, myself included, are members of the ANC or members of the ANC league, and we are not going to go anywhere. We won't move. We will stay on the ANC Youth League and in the ANC. Some of us are no longer being interested in leading the ANC Youth League, and we've said that publicly. But we were just here to guide the ANC Youth League and guide it very jealously. Of course, we did, and we're part of the job that we did. But we hope that the leadership of the ANC, as the mother body, is going to call comrades into one room and find each other on these misunderstandings that are there between the youth leaders and the mother body.
All right. Finally, if you could just quickly reflect on some of the details of the political and organizational reports that were presented earlier.
Well, the organizational report actually was supposed to take us, it's been 8 years since the last National Congress of the ANC. So what we got is just a report of 3 months, which was not really detailed about the work that the NYTP has done, and the only report we received it on the NYTP, but members of and delegates have not yet received the organizational report. The political report, I must say that we're impressed with the political report. We really believe that Comrade Fasia did a stellar job in giving a political report, speaking on the autonomy of youth league, on the challenges of young people, because at the end of the day, the ANC does not only belong to its members, but belongs to young people in general. So in us coming out of this particular Congress, it's important that we reclaim space as the ANC League, and it's important that the ANC Youth League rises back to its glory, which Comrade Fasia spoke about in her political report.
Thank you so much for your time and sharing your
Thank you very much.
Sharing your thoughts with us. Sizophila Mkhize is the ANC Youth League spokesperson, and of course we will keep you updated on what is happening there at the moment.